Welcome to episode 54 of our Sperduti Fitness podcast. I'm riding solo today. I am Coach Brian. Before we jump into today's guest, I'm going to take you through a quick announcement. Remember, the Sperduti Fitness 12-week transformation challenge has launched and it's open for enrollment. We're giving away a $500 cash prize. The first transformation program to combine fitness and nutrition. The transformation challenge starts January 2nd. Head over to our Sperduti Fitness Facebook page. Click on the 12-week transformation link to enroll. We look forward to working with all you guys. Today, I'm pumped about our guest. Today, we have Tony oh my gosh, I always do horrible last names. Mastrangelo. Can you say it so people know it?
Close. Mastrangelo.
And listen, I'm Brian with an O-N and Sperduti. So I get so horribly angry with myself when I get people's names wrong because everybody gets my name wrong.
Seriously?
He is the owner of Big Picture Media. And he's going to be covering a bunch of topics that will not only benefit small businesses, but large businesses. Tony, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be on.
That's awesome. Can you give the people listening a little background about yourself, and then we'll go into background of Big Picture Media?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll, make this as short and sweet as possible. But, I got into marketing really when I was right in college. I started in radio when I was 18 years old. I worked for a company that owns 7 different radio stations here in Buffalo.
Oh, wow.
And I learned a lot when I was there. But a couple of years ago, I kind of learned that media was shifting. And I really knew that I understood that social media was the way to go. With my business now, I try not to, stick to one thing because I'm a full service ad agency, meaning, if you said, Tony, I'm opening up 500 gyms across the US, then it would probably make sense to do a bunch of different things, right? But a lot of clients that I work with are small and they can afford maybe one advertising medium. And, when we're talking about, small businesses, digital is the way to go. You can take a really small budget and you can have some success with it. So it's about, being smart and marketing in what's best for 2022 and 2023 and not just what you did in 1992, because life is different now. And unfortunately, a lot of business owners, they don't understand that because they're busy. They're running a business. So marketing is the last on their list.
And that's right there pretty much covers a ton when I talk to people about marketing and stuff like that. You're right. You get that old school view and you get mixed with a new school view. And I think it just confuses a lot of us because you're right. We're trying to be the best that we can be at our craft. And when it comes to advertising, we're just like, our hands are in the air. Like, I can do this really well, but how do I let people know I can do this really well? Right.
Absolutely. And it's very similar. Marketing is very similar to working out, right? You can't work out for a week and then stop and then think that you're just going to have the same results. You got to be consistent. So it's the same with marketing, right? You can't just put $2,000 into marketing for a month and then just stop. It's not how it works. People will forget about you because everybody is so busy. People have their own jobs. They have kids. They have a million things that they're worried about. The hardest thing to do is to get their attention. And that's what I help people do, is get people's attention, because it's never been more difficult. And, the best way to grab somebody's attention is on this, because this is where everybody is. And I mean, I'm sure you understand that, but unfortunately, some people don't. So some people are still, believe it or not, advertising in a phone book, which is crazy, or advertising in a newspaper, which is crazy. To me, that's just nuts. And I think a lot of it is just education, right? If you don't know what's out there. The other day I met with somebody and they really, they had no idea about Spotify, which was crazy to me because I listen to Spotify every day. People don't know you can advertise on it and you can choose who hears your message, which is great, right? So it's not a broad audience where, say you're on television and you have no idea who's watching. You do Spotify, you could make a commercial just for women, just for men, just for people in their 20s, just for parents. It's really, it's amazing the things you could do. And I think it's a secret weapon that a lot of people just don't know about.
Yeah, it is fairly new because I come from that era of, all right, I have my money together. I'm going to put an ad out in the paper and hope for the best. You know what I mean? And then it went to like the social media era where it was like, okay, we're just posting everything. And then I feel like it went to the advertising social media era, which we are now, where it's like, what demographic do I want to pinpoint with this ad? And you can be so refined with your ad where it's hitting just the demographic that you want it to hit. It's really amazing how far it's come with social media advertising.
Well, that's so important. And I think you touched on one thing that I would kind of like to talk about for a second is you said the area where, social media is you're posting a lot. And that is what a lot of people do. And organic reach is so low, which means if you're not paying for it, right? So if you do a post on a business page, it's going to reach about 3% of your followers, unless it's the best post ever, unless it's something viral, right? It's you scaling a building. It's something incredible where people are sharing it like crazy. 3% organic reach. Facebook, for example, same as Instagram and TikTok and everybody else, Twitter, it's a pay to play model. So if you're not paying to reach people, good luck. And if you're posting every day, you're not giving your last post enough time to reach people because it takes time for the algorithm to figure out who's interested in it. It takes 24 to 48 hours for, let's just say Facebook, because it's number one, right? It takes a little bit of time for them to figure out who do I want to show it to, who's engaging with it. Because if your friends are engaging with it, they're going to show it to you because they think that you're interested in it. And a lot of people they don't understand that. And I'll meet with people that have a new business and say, oh yeah, we have this beautiful facility. We took out a big loan. We got the best equipment ever, but we have $3 to advertise. I'm like, what? How do you not have a budget? You spent all this money on a sign and you're going to sit there and twiddle your thumbs and hope that people find out about you? That's just like, to me, in a marketing standpoint, that's mind-blowing.
Yeah, you hit a lot of good points right there. And just circling back a little bit, you made a very good point with the 3% organic reach amongst followers, people that are following you.
Yeah,
you could be pumping out the best content, but at the end of the day, it's a pay to play platform.
100%.
If you really want to get your message out there, you're going to have to know how to market properly. So would you say to the people that are posting every day, let's say they're putting out posts, you said that you need to let a post sit for a bit before you post again, because you want that post you want, like Facebook, for instance, you want to find the organic reach or algorithm that post is going to have. So don't bombard it with tons at once.
Absolutely. And it's quality over quantity when it's to social media. Now it's a little bit different now because with stories, because they're only up for a day, they disappear at 24 hours. So if you want to do a story a day, God bless you. If you think you have 365 good stories in a year, that's great. Keep trying. Now, Facebook came out with that because they wanted to compete with Snapchat. Now that TikTok is big, Facebook came out with Reels. So that's just going to keep happening, right? Whenever the flavor of the month comes up, Facebook's going to figure out what they're doing and copy it, and they might try to do it better. So yeah, it's really coming up with a strategy, and that's what I try to tell people. The last thing you want to do is, hey, it's Friday. What do I want to post today? That's, to me, it's crazy. You get what's important to you. The name of my business, Big Picture Media. Focus on the big picture. What's going to move the needle for your business? Is it asking a question? Is it brand awareness? Is it telling your story? Is it getting people to sign up? What is it? Figure it out. That's where I come into play. A lot of it is strategy.
And like you said too, as business owners, we're focusing on our product. We don't know much about the marketing aspect of it. So to have someone like you there to guide people along and ask the hard questions. What do you want to do with this ad? What's your target audience? Why are you targeting? What are you trying to get back from this? Those are questions that I think a lot of business owners don't think about. They're just like, well, I want to show people my product. Well, why? Why do you want to do that? You know,
Yes.
that's very big.
And it's knowing your audience. That's 100% huge. If you're posting things that are important to you, that might not be the best. It needs to be important to your audience. For example, on my personal page, if I post about work, nobody cares because they don't understand it. If I post a picture of my wife, my daughter, my dog, people go nuts. So think about that from a business standpoint. What are your current clients? What do they care about? And what do your prospective clients care about? That's the stuff you got to post. And hopefully that it makes a little bit of sense.
No, that's a lesson, because we go through that too, where I'll post something that I find to be, Beth and I, my co-host, one of the trainers that works with me, we laugh because I'll put up a post like, oh, wow, new studies on type 2 diabetes and the insulin uptake of glucose if you add fiber, blah, 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 no likes. And then it's like, what do you like better, a croissant or a McMuffin? It's like 27 comments, a ton of engagement. It's like, so nobody cares about my post. Okay, all right, guess they don't want to hear about that.
That's typical, and that's how it is everywhere. And it's not just you. There are pages in Western New York that have 100,000 followers, but if they don't advertise, a lot of their posts are getting 3 likes, 1 comment, 2 shares, or a lot of the places they'll post hourly, just bam, 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 content, kind of like a slot machine, hoping that one of them works, which is just crazy to me. Post one good one instead.
And I think that's eye-opening to a lot of people that own businesses as well, is because you're always, like you said, it's kind of like playing a slot machine. You're putting up these posts hoping for more engagement, when in all actuality, it's not getting out to a broader audience, and it's only hitting 3% of your current audience on average.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. People don't know. I mean, I always tell people when I meet with them for the first time is that I don't know your business, but you do. You're the expert in your field, but I know marketing. So we kind of have to, it's like Captain Planet. When our powers combined, that's where the magic comes through. You got to trust me a little bit, and you got to be willing to invest. So with marketing, it's never a given, right? Kind of like with your business, right? If you come up with a program for somebody and they're working out and they're doing a great job, but they go home and they eat donuts before bed, it's not going to work, right? But you're doing everything right on your hand, right? So on a marketing standpoint, if I'm like, hey, here's what we're going to invest in, here's what we're going to do, you got to believe in it. You got to work with me, and it takes a little bit of time. One thing that I think sets me apart from others in my field is that I don't do annual contracts because I don't think it's fair. A lot of the big agencies, they want you for a year, and if you're not happy with them after 3 months, tough. You have to work with them, even if you don't want it, even if they're not doing a good job. With me, I come up with a plan. If it works, great. If it's not working, every single month, I'm trying to figure it out because I want to keep earning your business. You can cancel at any time. I want to work with people that genuinely want to work with me. I think that's the right thing to do. And, I've had my business for 4.5 years now. I have 12 clients. 8 of them have been with me for years. So I think just that shows you that, 75% of my clients have been with me for a long time because they see the results and they keep coming back.
That's awesome. That's so cool. So you opened Big Picture Media 4.5 years ago?
Yeah, June 1st, 2018 was my official launch day. And it was really something where, I wanted to help the small business that just doesn't know about this stuff. And maybe they don't have the money to hire a full-time marketing manager. You don't have to pay somebody 40 hours a week with benefits and everything else. You could work out a deal with me for a lot less, but then you get my 18 years of experience.
Gotcha. That's awesome. And I mean, we've talked about it before, but I mean, again, if you can stress the importance of working with a marketing company to help your business grow, the floor is yours, because I cannot stress enough on how important it is to work with somebody like yourself.
Yeah, and thanks. I appreciate that because it's really important. And there's so many businesses in Western New York that they're struggling because they don't know what to do, frankly. Stuff is changing by the minute. And if you don't have an expert there to help you, you might look at it this way. I might be able to save you money because a lot of people spend and spend and spend. They don't know what they're getting for it. So I think it's the first thing is kind of taking an audit. Are you spending money? How much are you spending? Where are you spending in it? And what's your ROI? You know, if you have, per se, say you have one location, say you have a restaurant in West Seneca, right? If you did traditional media, say you go on TV, right? For that one restaurant in West Seneca, people could be in Lockport watching it. You think people from Lockport are driving from Lockport to West Seneca for dinner? Probably not. So that's a waste. I had one client that I started working with. It was from a referral from a current client. They spent all their money on radio. And I'm like, what are you doing? Your business is in Grand Island. People are listening in Angola. They're not driving from Angola to Grand Island. If you go digital, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Google, let's just do the zip codes around your business and hammer that area. That's it. And unlike, say, a billboard that's on the 90 for a month, right? You leave it, you cross your fingers, you hope that you get some phone calls, right? With digital, if it's not working, you change it. It's real easy. And I know I'm probably running through a lot real quick, but I just think it's important to touch on a couple things that just people, they don't know.
Yeah, I definitely am picking up what you're laying down. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome because it is. I'm a business owner. We've talked before, and you think what hit me was the 3% because it actually makes sense. When you said that, it clicked to me because we post and post and post. And it's great that my mom and 4 other people keep liking the post, but it's not getting it. And then you look at the followers, like, wait a minute, I have over 1,000 followers. Why am I only getting a very low return on posts? I feel good putting it out, but it should be hitting a broader audience. And like you said, for myself, I don't know about marketing. And I'm guessing a lot of small businesses just don't know those things. But when somebody comes to you and sits with you, what service does Big Picture Media provide?
Sure. So I look at it as a consultant, right? So I'm helping with a strategy, but I also do the work day to day, right? So, you know, if I were to work with, let's say, a donut shop, just throwing it out there, donut shop, I would be the one to help you come up with the strategy. Where are we investing our money? Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it TV? Is it radio? But then, so say it's Facebook, I'm going to do all the work. I'm going to take all the pictures. I'm going to shoot all the videos. Then we're going to turn that into the posts. I'm going to come up with the text, and then I'm going to figure out who we're going to target. So it's kind of like when you're coming up with an ad, think about you're making dinner, right? It's a homemade recipe, and everything that you put in it goes to the taste of the meal. So the picture's got to be good. The text has got to be short. Nobody wants to read a novel. It's got to be short text. And you got to be targeting the right audience. If the donut shop is in Lancaster, I'm not going to target somebody who lives in the North Towns, right? It doesn't make sense. So all that stuff, and you got to be on it, and you got to look at it. And after 2 days, if it's not working, you try something else. That's the power of doing digital. You look at the results. And even if you have, I've had business owners tell me before, Tony, likes don't matter. You know what? That's true. Likes don't matter. You need customers. But I had a client tell me the other day, you know what? An 82-year-old customer told me that they saw my ad on Facebook. And if they wouldn't have saw it, they would have never heard of me. So like that stuff, it's proof in the pudding, per se.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. What would you say that what would you say the top 5 social media platforms or advertising platforms are right now? Because there's so many.
So I was just thinking about this yesterday because I met with a new prospect. And, what I told her are I'll give you the 4 that I would recommend to a small business.
Mount Rushmores.
Yeah. And I always give options, right? You don't have to do all 4 of them. It's better to be good on one. Get good on one, and then try to get good on 2 and 3 and 4. Depends on your risk tolerance, right? I have clients that spend $1,500 a month, which to me is not a lot of money. It's $50 a day, right?
Right.
I have clients that spend $6,000 a month, which sounds like a lot more money. But every business is different, right? So you got to figure out what's right for your business. And then the Mount Rushmore, Facebook is still number 1. And I know Facebook is polarizing, but if it's used properly and if it's used in the right way for marketing, it is the best bang for your buck, 100%.
Okay.
I've used it personally for my business. I've used it for other things. When I had my stag, I ran ads for my stag. I sold tickets. It was amazing.
Really?
Yeah. And nobody would think about that, but it works, Number 2 is Instagram, which is owned by Facebook, which is a nice complement to Facebook. Instagram is great for a younger demographic. It's great for if your target demo is say 30 and under female. It's a great place to be. And then a couple other, I'd say 3 and 4 would be Google, whether it's Google Ads or YouTube. YouTube is great, and a lot of local business just don't take advantage of it. And then Spotify. Spotify to me is the new radio because I listen to Spotify every single day, whether if I'm in my car, in my office, or at home. It's the number 1 listening platform. And we could make a commercial that sounds just like a normal radio commercial, but it's way cheaper than normal radio. And people just, they don't know that.
That's interesting because I know Facebook, Instagram, Google, and Spotify. You're right, though. I guess you don't realize how much you actually listen to Spotify. And so you know what I mean? Like, I don't really listen to traditional radio. I haven't listened to traditional radio in years. It's always a Spotify podcast or music or something like that.
Oh yeah, I could still sing the O'Reilly Auto Parts jingle from Spotify.
O'Reilly? Yeah, my son used to sing it because I used to listen to Spotify sing. So, and how important is it for a small business in your eyes to take advantage of big picture media and marketing, opposed to a large business? I mean, small businesses are the ones that are hit the most. I mean, especially with everything that went on. I mean, how important is it to have you in their corner when they're looking to build their brand and expand?
Yeah, I would say, what's your plan? A lot of businesses, unfortunately, they don't have one. They're just kind of opening the door, hoping people are walking in, right? Which to me is not the best strategy. What's your plan to grow? And it boils down to a couple different things. Talking to your current customers, reminding them that you're here. Hey, you've shopped with me before. Remember me, right? And then it's also attracting new customers, people who have never heard about you before. So it's those 2 things. You have to constantly do those 2 things. And with me, it's about, my experience, my work ethic, but I have that personal touch that a big agency, they don't have, right? I'm the one there doing the work every day. I don't have an assistant. You're not dealing with an intern. You have a problem, you have a question, it's me. My business is going to fail or succeed because of me and me only. And that's a choice that I made a long time ago, and I'm riding with it. It's something that I firmly believe in. If the proof is in the pudding, I know I said that already, but when things have happened in my life, whether it's my stag, if I'm, selling my house, if I have anything that's going on in my life, when I need new clients, I'm advertising on social media. I know that it's the best bang for your buck. And kind of like I said before, I think the no contract thing is huge. So there's very minimum risk, at least in my eyes, right? You try it for 3 months. If it doesn't work, great. You can go back to what you were doing before, whether it was just nothing or print ads or word of mouth or the penny saver. I still can't believe that people are in things like that. When I get those things at home, I save them just for prospecting. That's it.
Right, right. Yeah, that is. I've seen a penny saver not too long ago, and I'm like, wow, still do that? We still doing that? But it's interesting because you're right, though. I think a lot of small businesses do themselves a huge disservice by not working with somebody like yourself when it comes to brand expansion in this day and age, because everything is digital. Everybody has their phone.
Mm,
Not everybody has the newspaper. It's
no,
not everybody has a phone book, penny saver. Like, it's all from my kid to my mom are all on social media.
everybody is. And even if you have that person that's, oh, I don't like Facebook because it's so political, that's
Mhm.
fine. But I'll tell you right now, from a business standpoint, there's 800,000 people in Western New York that are on Facebook. Wouldn't you want to advertise to them and cherry pick who you send your message to based on where they live, their gender, how old they are, their interest, where they work, all those things that are so important? It's the data that's important.
Mhm.
Like running a special for people that have a birthday. You can't do that anywhere else. If you wanted to do, hey, free training for December birthdays, you could target people that have a birthday in December, which is awesome. You can't do that on TV.
Yeah. Which I'm not doing, people. So don't start blowing my phone up after this is over. I'm not doing. It's a suggestion. We're gonna think about it, and maybe, but but I see what you're getting.
It was an example.
It was an example. Thank you. But no, that is so true. The flexibility you have and the range you have with marketing digitally is just years. I mean, I know some of it, and it's probably a very small percentage of it. So to hear you explain even more in depth, and you're just giving us a rough topic, an explanation of it, and I'm sure it goes even more in depth than that of what you
Oh,
can
yeah.
actually get done with marketing, digital marketing. That's so amazing, and this is why I wanted to have you on, because I know, like myself, other small business owners out there are really struggling with trying to break through that glass ceiling and build and expand their brand, and they don't know where to turn, and they're trying to do it on their own, but it's almost like, you know what, there's people out there that actually know what they're doing. Why try to learn a new skill which is going to take you years to do when you can work with somebody with as many years of experience as yourself? And we can just have a conversation and you can lay out the game plan that we're going to follow to get things moving. That is awesome. That is really awesome.
Thanks. I appreciate that. It's something that I'm very passionate about, as you can see, and I want to help people. Frankly, there's people that have invested in having a business, and they're struggling to stay open because nobody's heard about them. You might have the best sandwich in Western New York. If nobody knows about it, who's coming in to try it? And there are a couple like staples, obviously, in Western New York that have been around forever, that are like, they have their like cult following that they don't need to advertise. That's cool. That's great. But for the other 90% of Western New York, people need to know who you are and why they should choose you. Whether you're an auto repair shop, a hairdresser, there's so many people that just say, oh yeah, just post on yourself, like do it yourself. To me, it's amazing.
It is. We launched our Sperduti Fitness virtual training app, and we launched it a couple months ago. And I'm posting about it, and like you said, you get the couple people that really no shares. It's really not happening. And a good friend of mine, he asked me a question about something. I said, just download the app. He's like, you have an app? I'm like, well, if you don't know and you're my friend.
Yeah.
I'm guessing nobody else knows.
Because it goes back to the number one thing: people are busy. You have to get their attention. The hardest thing to do is get somebody to notice you. How can I post something that's going to get somebody to stop scrolling and notice me? That's the question, right? How do you do that? And it's not easy, but it can be done.
Gotcha. That's so awesome. So what I'm going to do is give you the floor here. I'm going to give you the floor to give people your social media handles, your name, last name said correctly. I'm not going to try to do it. So I'm going to let you give your social media handles, name, business name, and I'm going to make sure to put this all over social media on my end, and I'm going to tag some people in it as well so they know how to get a hold of you.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So the name of my business is called Big Picture Media, and I would recommend checking out my website. So, and we talked about a lot about social media, and I am on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn. But if you go to my website, bpmbuffalo.com, you can read all about the services that I offer, but also testimonials from clients that have been with me for years that, talk about their experience working with me, and, maybe you'll want to work with me too. The one thing I'd like to add is I'll never be that guy that has 100 clients because I can't handle them. I need to have that personal service where if you're my client and you text me, Tony, we're doing a flash sale for the holidays, let's get something up. I want to be able to say, absolutely, I'll get it done in an hour. Let's go. If I had 100 clients, I couldn't do that, or I'd have to hire a team and really hope that they did a good job. When no, it's me, it's going to happen. And that's what I'm all about. So Big Picture Media, bpmbuffalo.com is the website. I appreciate the time. This has been fun.
Yeah, I love catching up with you, man. It's always great chatting with you on a bunch of different topics. But thank you for joining us today. Before we leave, we always have 5 questions we ask people when they come on our podcast. Since we have the meat and potatoes done with it, I always call this a little bit of dessert, some fun questions. All right. So here we are. So this is the question we ask people. Top 3 restaurants you like going to in Western New York. Ooh. I know this is hard with your business. It might be hard to name names. Yeah. So I'm putting you on the spot. We don't have to.
Can I do them in no particular order?
No particular order at all. No, not at all.
Okay. All right. So my favorite place to go for wings is Bar-Bill. Love their wings. Literally will drive to East Aurora I live in Kenmore for wings because they're the best. My favorite place for pizza is Imperial, which is in South Buffalo. Same thing, kind of far, but they have the best. And my favorite kind of like all together restaurant is the Grapevine in Amherst on Niagara Falls Boulevard. They have a little bit of everything, and they just have that Italian home cooked stuff that I love, frankly.
All right, that's 3 solid selections, by the way. Bar-Bill wings are fantastic. There's a bunch of restaurants in East Aurora that are absolutely phenomenal. Oh, yeah. Favorite cheat meal? Had a long day. You just want something not healthy, dessert-wise. What would it be? My
kryptonite is chocolate chip cookies because I am an all or nothing type of guy. So like I haven't had a cookie in like a month and I'm losing weight and I'm feeling good. Other day, my mother-in-law, Wendy's had 5 for $5. That night, they were gone. I can't just have one. They were gone. Big glass of milk. That's my soft spot.
I'm like that with mini. I buy minis because I can't buy the large mini peppermint patties. Yeah, I'll wake up on the couch and it's like when the Hulk wakes up and he transforms back into Bruce Banner. There's just wrappers all over me, and I'm like, whoa, what happened?
That's great.
What show are you watching right now?
This might be surprising, but my wife and I just started the Netflix special with Harry and Meghan.
Really? Okay. I'm always interested in what people, when they go home and they're like, I just want to veg, I want to get into something.
And I'm normally a sports guy. I watch every Bills game. I watch every Lakers game. I watch wrestling, but something that me and my wife, we just got into it. So we're going to watch the next 3 episodes, and it's interesting. Whether you like them or don't like them, it's very interesting.
Yeah, that's what I say about a lot of things. I'm not going to formulate an opinion. I'm just interested,
Yeah, it's
right?
entertainment.
Yeah, it's entertainment.
What it is.
So after a long day of hard work, what do you like to do to de-stress?
Well, so for the past almost 5 months, my favorite thing in the world is to go home to my daughter.
Oh, that's awesome.
She'll be 5 months on Christmas Eve, Gianna Ray, and it's the best feeling ever being a dad, seeing her when I come home. Now she's at the age where she kind of knows it's me, so she'll give me a big smile, and that's, I could have the most stressful day in the world. I could get fired by every client, but seeing her just makes it all better.
That's awesome. I have 2 kids, and I'm telling you, it's the best thing in the world.
So
They always, no matter how much they may get on my nerves at times, they're 8 and 11. They just bring a smile to my face, and it's just like it's gonna be a good day, no matter how hard the day was.
absolutely, man.
Well, Tony, thank you so much for joining us today, and I'm gonna make sure to post and tag all your information so people can get a hold of you. And we'll have to definitely catch up soon, and hopefully everybody listening, make sure they contact you, especially if you own a small business. He'll definitely set you in the right direction when it comes to marketing.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks for being on, buddy. We'll talk soon.